Now, social commentator Ziggy Ibe and lawyer as well as public affairs analyst Olutobosun Oshifora are here to discuss this development. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
My pleasure.
Now, let me begin with you, Ziggy. This is generating a lot of concern for a lot of Nigerians because we already have a situation at hand, talking about the insecurity, and they are wondering how this is going to complicate the already myriad of challenges we have security-wise.
One thing is to give a job to someone who knows how to do it. This is informed by the incessant jailbreak we're having today. When certain things are not put in place, when those who are asked to do the work are not doing it, it's posing a lot of dangers to us. This is not good time for Nigerians to really experience, because those that have been let off or those that have broken out of these places would pose more danger. They constitute more security risk to the country. And the moment they are let free by breaking the jail, more problems will be faced by Nigerians. But
you were saying something that I would like for you to expatiate on, talking about the leadership of the Nigeria Correctional Service.
Yes.
So I wonder how that is the challenge here.
Let me say something that is very, very bothering to me. Aregbesola is minister for that
Interior.
Interior. And when he was given this portfolio, you remember his word? He said he never knew anything about it.
Right.
Meaning that he is going to learn through the ladders of this work. This might take him some time to know what to do there. Okay, because we have to sound very hard this time, because things are really not working out. Every year, such amount of money is budgeted for the welfare of the inmates.
Absolutely.
This money, does it get there to them? Does it get down to them? There are supposed to be trainings for the officials of these correctional centers. Then, how conducive is the environment of the inmates? I learned that some of these people could acquire vocational skills. Are they given the right thing? Do you know that in a place where you are taken to, thank God it has been codenamed, or
Nigeria Correctional Service from Nigeria Prison Service.
Good, meaning that when you are taken there, your orientation
is to be changed.
Is to be changed.
Right.
You will be reorientated, meaning that you are coming from the world into a different world. When you come here, you will be faced with the right thinking. So what that means is that the environment you'll be brought into will be better than where you are coming from, because that's what changes your orientation. What changes human is your environment, your circumstances, and the conditions you find yourself.
Right.
So when all these things are not in place, what do you expect from? He will come back a worse person than he was taken. Okay, so are these places conducive? Are they giving the right meals? Do you know when they are ready to be corrected, when the doors of the prison is open to them, they will go back. They wouldn't even want to go. Yes, because what they were denied in the place they were coming from, they are actually getting here, and that is the major reason they are taking there, is to correct their mentality, to change the orientation.
To address that.
Yes, they've not been able to address that. That's why
leadership is the major issue.
Yes, so they are not doing the right thing they're supposed to do. The training.
But that is why the leadership in person of Rauf Aregbesola now has someone in charge of the prison service to address those issues. Who should know?
Certainly somebody must be in charge, but the question now, it is one thing for somebody to be in charge, another thing for the person to know what he is doing, to carry out the duty for which he has been appointed unto.
Yeah.
So these are challenges. If the right thing is not being done, why do you think that place is porous? Yes, because the issue that is facing us right now means that the place is porous. The moment is attacked, the prisoners escape. Why do you think it's porous? Because the normal mountain or the normal gatekeepers are not there. Or that is done with the collusion of those who are working in there.
Which is why there has been calls for investigations into this matter. But let's turn our attention to Olutobosun. Let's get a feel of what he makes of this recent development. I wonder if you are sitting on the same side of the wall with Ziggy, where he is talking about leadership being a major challenge before we look at the composition, talking about the structure of the prison service now.
All right, Ziggy is even looking inside the prison.
Okay.
What has happened is even outside the prison.
All right.
All right. Now, a very quick one. There's a failure of leadership.
Which he mentioned.
Not of the prison now.
Right.
But collectively, like in the Nigerian space. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the report concerning this, the attack on this prison in Owerri, you find out that they said some of the guys came with rocket launchers. They came with sophisticated weapons. Now, these are not things that are handy. You don't put them in
your pocket.
In your purse. You don't put them in your pocket. You can't even hide them on that. These are war materials. All right? Now, people come and there are streets leading to the prisons. Where is intelligence? Where is sharing of information amongst all our intelligence outfits?
How well are they even collaborating, working together in the first place?
That is another thing. Then you find out that earlier on, we were talking, before we came on, we were talking about urban planning and composition of prisons. World over, even in this country, I'm not aware whether new prisons have been built, but you find that prisons are built very close to barracks.
Right.
If you look at Kirikiri, it's close to the Navy barracks. If you look at Ikoyi, it's close to the Dam barracks. If you look at Kuje, if you go even Ibadan and all that. So prisons are always located. So if a tiny number of people are coming to bombard or invade the prison, what happens to the barracks? What happens to intelligence between the ministry, between the police, and between the barracks that are located around the
That's
place?
where interagency collaboration comes in.
So there's a failure of intelligence. There's a failure of intelligence knowing what is coming. There's a failure of sharing of information amongst these outfits. Now, so that's why we are here. That's why we are where we are. And then this is not the first time. You remember during the NSAS protest, you remember the one in Benin?
Yes.
There's been a few jailbreaks like that. Now, a minister is coming and telling us that they should be proactive. Should you be telling people this by this time? You can see, since the NSAS thing, there's this acrimony, there's this hatred that the average citizen has developed against the gatekeepers. Talking about police, talking about, people, the security forces generally. I don't know how we got there, but people just have this unfathomable or a phantomless hatred for the security personnel. Now, so since you know this thing, you've seen frustrations in the land, you've seen even pastors coming and telling you should have a plan B, run away, do this. You've seen how insurgents have become sophisticated in their outlook and in the pursuit of their goals. Now, is it now that the minister will now come and say we should be proactive? This is a given. These are things that should be known.
We should have, even before now.
We should have done that. Then there should be exchange of intelligence. There should be exchange of
reports. Is it that difficult to achieve? Because we keep talking about this interagency collaboration, having to exchange information. I wonder.
It is not difficult.
Right.
But you see, a few weeks ago or a few days ago, we saw where the Navy fired and killed dozens of soldiers. In the same war that both of them are prosecuting, then there is problem. It's either this agency is trying to outdo the other one, or there's some pecuniary gains that these ones are making, and they feel
trying to protect
certain interests. Those are the two things that can be at play. Because why should the Navy be envying the soldiers, then the soldiers don't want to collaborate with the Air Force.
Well, we can't categorically state that perhaps that is what it is, because these are speculations.
But we've seen some things play out, and the speculation is in order.
Right. I wonder what you also make of this issue of intelligence.
There's no speculative angle to it. We see them every day. We're on the street. We see them.
We are not at the heart of the fight, so we cannot say.
This interagency collaboration, this interface where I need to share certain information with you, is not there. The other agency seems to be jealous of the other one, or the other Jealousy. One is not. We can't understand. That's why it was kind of unfathomable. You know, you can't just get it, because if it needs to be a well-tutored arrangement, if I had something that would jeopardize your work, I need to let you know via. There are so many channels I can reach you. The other time, at Ikeja bus stop, a policeman and an army was fighting. Before it got to that broil, before it got to that point, there should be what is esprit de corps in their own arrangement? Is it not giving to me, you know, giving me that a code?
Yes, we are one.
You know, we are one. You know, we didn't fight, but both of them were found fighting. You know, civilians would even get near them because they will say they know how to settle themselves, and it is so shameful. That macabre dance was so shameful. And at a corner, I was thinking, what is this problem? So there's this bottled up anger in us that you can't really explain. You can't really describe what is really welling up in us. So that same anger is what is taken to so many places, and that's why you see insecurity everywhere. Police, as we speak, seems to be very they are helpless. Okay, we've had a jailbreak in the past, but it's so incessant now. The worst of it in the recent time was the one in Owerri. About 1,480 inmates, escapees, and they wouldn't want to come back. Right. Those who want to come back will only go do that for fear of not being caught in the society and all that. That's why I earlier said, if there had been a good arrangement, a training facility, an incentive that will really encourage them to live in the society better. Yeah. And don't forget, when they get there and they are so idle, you know what that means. So an idle mind is certainly will be overtaken by evil's thought. Okay, and the next thought at that point, when their minds are idle, is to think about how to break the walls that is so thick, how to escape from the little tiny holes and all that. Okay, so until certain things are done that will alleviate, that will address the reasons why they left the society. Because why they left the society was that they committed a crime. Absolutely. Okay? And coming here means they need to be reorientated. Their mindset needs to be changed. So changing that mindset needs a lot of work. And I'm sure that's why the budget is made for it. So if the budget for that purpose is used for that purpose. Because we had a police guy the other time who said that the budget gets to his hand, but before it gets to where it goes, it has been edited. They will edit, use pen, add zero, remove zero, and all that. That might be the same thing we get with all this. When the right thing is done, we might not have. There are some countries in the world that don't even have a jail facility. Okay, they don't have. Yes. They have many of them. I think Austria also. Austria don't have also. Okay, these are people. Not that they don't commit offense or they don't do illegal things there, but it's at a minimal point, a minimal level. It could be done here. Most of these things are things that were brought upon us by corruptive elements. It is corruption that absolutely brought all this. Where money is budgeted for a particular project, it wouldn't be executed. Do you know so many of these facilities are moribund? They are not even habitable for a goat. Some of these facilities are so decayed that they are not fit for human existence. So when they come there, they would want to go back the way they came. Until these places are revamped, until these places are put to human condition, until they are made to actually change the thinking of these people, I'm afraid.
The situation might continue.
Oh, sure.
Wow. Olutobosun, there are calls that the federal and state governors should collaborate to begin to address these issues. And I wonder what state governors can do at this point beyond what we have mentioned earlier.
You see, it still boils down to sincerity of purpose. We're good at changing names. We love cosmetics than actually facing what is wrong. The
root cause.
You remember, this is the only country where we launched the name Air Nigeria and there was no plane to fly.
Right.
The same Air Nigeria. We changed to correctional facility when the facility cannot correct anything.
Yep.
Now, so we're good at facade. We're good at cosmetic engagements and embellishing things, but we leave the main thing. Then talking about exchange of information, we saw southern governors come together yesterday. I think they need to do more of that, because the insecurity, we have a war on our hands. You have almost some guerrilla, warfare on our hand as it is. The entire Northeast is gone. You saw people, pulling flags, trying to start their own fiefdom and kingdoms in a republic, all right? And nothing seems to be happening. Then you have governors coming out, these ones are supporting bandits, telling you bandits can carry arms. You have cacophony of voices on this thing. So everybody needs to come together and find a way around this thing. Because if we are still at the level that I disagree with your approach, you disagree with my approach, the Navy is not collaborating with the Air Force and all that, at the end of the day, we have failed to see that we have a common enemy in this thing. And if we don't approach it holistically, we might have more than we have bargained for. Now, so coming down to prison invasions, there will still be more. So what is the ministry doing? What are the security agencies doing? Now, because we've seen if something has happened, there's a pattern. Something has happened like 4 times in different locations. Then you see that. Now, then there's another pattern also. You see, when they left the prison, they went straight to the police headquarters.
Yes.
And they said they were going for the armory until they were repelled. And it's been the same position, because these people too get some supply of arms, but they feel if we go for the armory, we get a bigger supply. So what's the police doing? What's the army doing? What are the
It boils down to intelligence.
Purely. Because they need to come together. They need to work together. That synergy is not there. And you see, there's something about this administration. With all due respect, they've done some things right, but there are a few things that they got wrong. And like Ziggy said, interagency collaboration. It is in this country where you saw a minister of finance come out and say, we are not printing money. The governor of central bank says, we can print money. Then another governor comes out and says, they've been printing money. Where is coordination? All of you are in the same party. All of you are working for the same purpose. And you're coming out, and it's a show of shame. It has never been, they will come out and say, stop comparing us with America, stop comparing us with the UK. They've been there, their democracies over 300 years. We're not comparing with America. Let's compare with where we were coming from. Once upon a time, it was not like this.
Right.
This is a sane country.
So all of this discordant tunes is fueling what we are seeing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because everybody is now just acting their own script. And at the end of the day, it is not for the good of the average person.
It's causing the issues, the restiveness we're seeing across the board.
Because if there's no collaboration between, security is not a one-man thing. It's not, you can't leave it to the police. Okay, look at when the NSAS thing happened, they had to call in the army. Now, but you saw even the Lagos State governor said he was calling presidency and they didn't come to his aid on time and all that. And the whole thing was almost going to go out of hand. If not for the fact that, Ziggy and I were talking earlier on and we said that Lagos is almost on autopilot. Even if you don't have a governor, things will still run fine. But it's not like that for other states.
Right.
Now, there's been cry that there are a lot of, there's an influx of people from a particular locality into the state. What has been done to checkmate this thing? People are coming in, everybody feels Lagos is El Dorado. But by the time you come in,
no, the
you
government
don't see
is,
that thing.
the Lagos State government is looking at doing some things,
no,
here and there, banning some things that I don't want to mention or we don't want to talk about.
What I'm saying is that with this kind of news,
right,
there should be something. People have to come together. It's not just the government.
Speaking with one voice.
Everybody, the federal government has to look at it. Why are people living in a particular place
to another?
There will be population explosion. The facilities there will not be enough. So is the federal government doing something to help Lagos out? On this, are you giving Lagos a federal
this is where states governors coming to look inwards and address these issues.
Absolutely.
Why perhaps the government is saying there has to be some collaboration between the federal government and state governments to addressing these issues. Should we be looking at perhaps building more prisons and the structures now?
The need for building more prisons hadn't come.
Quickly,
the prisons we have already are all obsolete.
Right, okay.
They are old. Begin to revamp them. Begin to renew and refurbish them.
Okay.
It will serve the same purpose better, and if all of them were well equipped with the technology needed to really correct the people that are coming to occupy there, because it's meant for some people. Okay? So now it is meant for some people. It should be put in a place or the same position that will serve the purpose for which that place is meant for. Right. You don't bring in someone there and eventually the person goes home worse than he were. Or he was, you know. So it's bad.
Whichever one is understood. Let's leave the conversation here. Social commentator Ziggy Ibe and lawyer public affairs analyst Olutobosun Oshifora. Gentlemen, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you for having us.
All right.